why I feel like viola and pansy seed starting is not as popular, because a lot of people don't know how to get them to germinate. We're going to be starting some viola seeds as well as some geranium seeds today. I'm super duper excited. If you know about me, then you know that every year I plant up a ton of geraniums and I also plant up a ton of violas. This year, I'm going to start taking you all more behind the scene on my prep that I typically would do in order to prepare for a season, because that's been one of the most requested inboxes that I often get. We're going to be starting some viola seeds. We're going to start with the viola seeds first, then we'll move to our geraniums. Now, both violas as well as geraniums, and when I say violas, I want to also include pansies into that mix too, because all pansies are violas, but not all violas are pansies. Know that your violas, you can find them very inexpensive. And when I say very inexpensive, now it used to be a time you could go and get a 6-pack of violas for like $2.34. I remember a time when you can get violas for $1 for a 6-pack, even cheaper than that in some places, depending on where you went to. But oftentimes you will find them in a mix, or you just couldn't really get the color that you needed. So what I like to do, especially when I am going in and I am curating an area for my garden for the upcoming spring season, I will start them from seed. Or if I am using a large quantity of violas, I will start them from seed and then kind of mix in based on what I've planned out for my garden the year before. With your geranium seeds, also your geranium seeds, you can get your geranium seeds very cheap as well. And I'm talking maybe anywhere from $2 to $3 per plant. Now with inflation, we got to keep that in mind, because inflation can have us spending a lot more on our garden show, or choosing to opt out of planting up as much in your garden due to inflation. And while I don't want to skip on my show this year, I would rather go ahead, prepare for the season now, spend a little bit of money on seeds, and then have a luxurious show as we've had in the past before. With your violas, in order to get your violas to germinate, there are going to be some things that you're going to have to do. Now, these viola seeds, they are 25 seeds per pack. So if we break that down, a 6-pack, we're saving so much money for 25 seeds. The thing with viola seeds, and this is why I feel like viola and pansy seed starting is not as popular, because a lot of people don't know how to get them to germinate. And that is so simple, you guys. There's been videos before where you see a little paper bag sitting behind me. I'm cooking up some viola seeds. Yes. So I'm going to show you my trick to get your viola seeds to germinate. And guess what? You don't even need a heat mat in order to get them to do it. You just need a few simple things. I will go ahead and make sure I link the supplies that I'm using here in the description box. Now we're just going to start off by filling up our cells here. And I'm just going to go ahead and use just what I have on hand. And I might go ahead, actually, I'm going to pop in cocoa core in order to stretch my soil that I have here. And I'll probably go ahead and add a little bit of perlite as well. So this is just a cocoa core. It just comes in a disc, and you can use that and actually just make your own seed starting mix and save yourself some money. So you're just going to take this, and I'm going to go ahead and add some water. We'll add a second one as well. A little bit of perlite. And then more water. this is what we're left with. This is about how moist you want it, to where it's like you got a moist paper towel. What your viola seedlings is going to look like, and this does not look like 25 seeds, but we'll see. See how small they are? Now, I did not fill the cells all the way up, and this is going to help with our germination. So we're just going to take one seed and just put it on top of the soil. Oh, that was more than one. Left off right here. So what I'm going to do is I am going to set this right here, so I know that's where I left off at, and we're going to write out a plant tag. So these are the Admiral White, so I'm just going to put Add White, and I really should have a garden marker. By the time we move on to the next step, this still will be here. And corrected, those were not Admiral White, so I'm going to move that tag right here. That was the Frizzle Sizzle Mini Tapestry Viola. And those seeds look like this. want to make sure with your violas, you cover them, you keep them in darkness. I have a video where I talk all about that. I'll make sure to link that one below, and it gives you a little bit more details than what I'm giving here. Now we're going to go ahead, we're going to put them on the heat mat or not on the heat mat, and I'll show you how we do that once we get up into the plant laboratory. The geraniums, we are going to go ahead and set these on top of the heat mat. We have them up underneath the humidity dome so they can go ahead and crack the seed. Violas is a cool loving plant, so they're not going to want to have a heat mat for them to germinate. Your viola is strictly going to want to just have darkness. So you can put these in a closet, on a screened-in porch. I'm going to just set them here on this rack, and I've had success before many times over.